This is a really interesting stream and first video on NightLights Inc. part. It is a FreeAdviceGuy x NightLights Inc. video. We will be reacting to 8 different songs today by 8 different artists. FreeAdviceGuy has his own channel and he live streams pretty much every single day. He gives free financial advice for anybody wondering, so I always suggest people go check out his content. It's really awesome. But from there, we will get to go on everything. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Way Out, and today we are reacting to the Sin City Suicide. He's been with NightLights. He's pretty much an OG with us. He's been with us, 2 years now? Maybe 2.5? So he's quite an OG with us, and he's released quite a lot of music. This is a song he has not released with us. He released this onto his own channel, and he personally asked us to review this specific song. So, with that going, let's start it.
Okay, beat starts off fire. Let's go.
A bit.
Must be some 80s stuff here. Let's go.
Right?
I am very curious how he's going to come on the beat.
Yeah, I am too, actually. Oh. Nice use of a BL driver.
Alright. Pause it there real quick.
Heard?
Okay. So far, I love this track. I love the multiple beat changes, the flow changes. This actually has like a softer Panic at the Disco feel.
Yeah, yeah.
But I love the contradictory voices there between, I believe, male voice and female voice. That sounded great.
Right.
But, yeah, man, this is it's got a great energy to it.
I like the distortion he's using on his voice here. The distortion is really giving his voice like what's the word I'm looking for? Almost like an echoey tune, but not quite an echo. It's real nice. Compared with that reverb in the background, you can really hear the mix stand out. It's spectacular.
Chat saying dark wave.
Yeah, this is for sure dark wave. For sure dark wave. Dark wave music is kind of like a mix of older style music and newer style music, a mix of old and modern. It's really interesting. I believe he kind of actually specializes in dark wave. Especially these days. Back in the day, he used to do rap. He used to do rap when he first started with us. A little bit more like a drill rap.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's interesting to see.
That's pretty cool.
It's interesting to see him go from like drill rap when he first started with us to this new dark wave old modern style. It's really interesting.
Yeah, I dig it, man. All right, let's keep it going.
That build up though.
Yeah, build up's great.
What'd you think of that one?
Yeah, that had a great vibe to it. I think my only knock on it is that if I didn't have the lyrics down below, I would not have been able to pick up what those words are. And I know that's part of music sometimes. You don't know exactly what they're saying. You sort of make the music for yourself and all that. But with it, I just wouldn't be... or without the subtitles, I wouldn't be sure what they were talking about.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with that. I feel like that was a little bit more due to the beat maybe being a little too loud opposed to the lyrics. I could be wrong there.
Yes, I would say I couldn't tell if it was because of the beat or his voice, but I do think it was probably something to do with the voice. So yeah, with the volume of the music. I don't know, but I don't know how to describe it. There was something about the volume of the music that made it kind of awesome.
Yeah,
and his voice was like almost behind the music. Like the music was driving the emotion, and his voice was helping as opposed to the other way around.
Yeah, yeah. It really felt like the beat was the pusher of this song, and his vocals were a secondary effect to help push the emotion of the beat.
Yeah. I don't know. That was really cool though.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely enjoy that modern / older style of darkwave. Especially when used with. I feel like this beat was not meant for a darkwave song. I feel like this beat was mainly used for like an 80s song, you know?
Yes. It blended well though. It blended well.
Yeah. That mix of that old and that modern with that modern voice style really drove it home there. All right. So this next artist, so this is Shadow. Oh. Oops. So this is Shadow. So Shadow owns Spazin Records. Shout out to Spazin Records. He is a new record label owner who first started as an artist with NightLights Inc. And I think that his music grew over time. This is a newer song I've not heard yet. But I'm really tempted to know how he's really grown that difference between when he first started and now. But let's get started. So this is Heartache by Shadow the Pharroh.
Is this going to be a rock song?
It sounds like it.
Interesting. It's like muted bass.
Yeah.
Heartache at 172, the beat to my pain. Every riff, every lyric echoes the disdain. We were firing gasoline, now we're ashes in the rain. Heartache at 172, can't escape your reigns. Heartache at 172, the beat to my pain. Every riff, every lyric echoes the disdain. We were firing gasoline, now we're ashes in the rain. Heartache at 172, can't escape your reigns. I'll scream out the anger, I'll rage against the beat, but in the end I'll find solace in my own defeat. Heartache at 172, the anthem of our demise, but through the pain and sorrow I'll learn to rise. At 172 my heart's racing fast, every beat remind me what we had in our past. Our love was like thunder crashing through the night, but now it's all shattered, torn apart from the fight. In the storm of our passion, we dance on the edge. But now all that's left is the pain that we dredge. The only melody we wrote now tainted with lies, as the rhythm of our love slowly dies. I'll scream out the anger, I'll rage against the beat, but in the end I'll find souls in my own defeat.
Alright, pause there.
Hearn.
Alright, so I don't know how to word it. It sounds like his timing is at like 1.75, if that makes sense. Whereas earlier when we were listening to another track, it was like 2 times the beat, or maybe even faster than, I'm not sure. But this doesn't feel quite as fast, so it's almost offbeat, and I don't mean that in a negative way. He's finding his timings. Yeah, it does sound like rap and metal, which is the genre I grew up in. Rap metal was like the Limp Bizkits of the world, and anyway, it sounded like, or it felt like he found his rhythm, because it didn't sound bad, even though I'm saying it sounded like offbeat.
Yeah, it definitely has like an offbeat feel to it, but it's not bad. Like, it's almost like he used that offbeat to his advantage.
Yes, agreed. And what's also crazy about this so far, the music is loud, yet I can still hear his voice clearly.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that quite works.
It sounds like he used BandLab to mix this. And the reason why I say that, and it's not a bad thing, the reason why I say that is because BandLab has a unique feature within its mixing sources to somehow do that effect that you were just talking about, where it's like the beat is loud but the voice is somehow still over it very clearly.
That was really cool. That was really cool to hear.
Yeah, you can definitely tell he's using his mixing to his advantage here, which is really good. It's really good to see that.
Agreed. All right, let's keep it going.
But through the pain and sorrow, learn to rise. Heartache at 172, the beat to my pain. Every riff, every lyric echoes the disdain. We were fire and gasoline, now we're ashes in the rain. Heartache at 172, can't escape your reigns. Heartache at 172, the beat to my pain. Every riff, every lyric echoes the disdain. We were fire and gasoline, now we're ashes in the rain. Heartache at 172, can't escape your reigns. I'll scream out the anger, I'll rage against the beat, but in the end I'll find souls in my own defeat. Heartache at 172, the anthem of our demise, but through the pain and sorrow, learn to rise. Your words cut deep like a razor, leaving scars unseen, but I'll rise from the ashes stronger than ever. The rhythm of betrayal, the melody of lies, but I'll find my redemption, the darkest of skies. In the silence of our goodbye, echoes of regret, but I'll find my peace and I'll learn to forget. My demons scream out in anger, my heart beats in rage, but through the catastrophe I'll turn the page. Heartache at 172, a symphony of sorrow, but I'll find my strength and I'll face tomorrow. I'll find my strength and I'll face tomorrow.
That was a really interesting take on, like, metal rap.
Agreed. The twist on his voice was something you don't hear too often anymore. I'd be interested to hear what his talking voice sounds like, but the edge and the emotion that he put into his voice was unique. And again, I thought it blended well with the music and the clarity and how they all mixed together.
Right. There was one specific part where his voice kind of telephones out a little bit. It kind of fades out a little bit, but you can still hear it very clearly over the beat. That's a very interesting effect he did on his voice there for this style of music. I actually really enjoyed that a lot. It made the composition rather different than what you normally would hear.
Yeah.
So how did you overall feel about the tracks that we listened to today? Were they all really good? Were some of them a tad bit off and used some work? What do you think there?
I don't know if I'd call them off, right? And who am I to say this? But it felt like a little tweak here and there. I think it was the first or second song was like a complete song. It was good the way it is. Didn't need to be touched. Every other song could have like a tweak to it, whether it's the vocals being up a little bit, or
Yeah.
maybe add a verse or something like that. But I'm just me, right? There are probably people who hear some of the stuff that we heard, and it's exactly what they're looking for. So this is just me talking. I liked everything we listened to, even though personally I'd love to see a tweak here and there to these tracks.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think the overall consensus here is all of these songs here were really great, and great potential behind all of these artists. Some little tweaks here and there in some of your songs, and I think that like it would have been freaking perfect without any question.
I think the other thing too, meeting you and listening to this music, I think it's incredibly brave that these people are going for it.
Yeah.
They are putting out music, right? I'd like to think this is their heart being laid down to a track. So even though I would say like, my preference would be a tweak here and there, if this is what their heart is feeling, then they just need to somehow get their music in front of the people who feel the same, right? If they feel that way laying the track, there's going to be people who feel that way listening, and they just need to find that audience. And I think I think the work that all of these guys have done is incredible.
Yeah. I know personally some of these artists. They quit a normal 9 to 5 to follow their career and passion within music. So it's really, really, honestly amazing to see some of them, all of these guys, honestly, progress and get further and further into music and follow their passion, in hopes that one day, maybe their passion will pay all their bills. And I think that's spectacular and honorable as artists.
Agreed. Now I'm going to step into my free advice guy shoes if I can.
Go ahead.
As an artist or anybody with a passion project, the best way to generally attack your passion project is actually outside of your 9 to 5. Keep paying your bills, but then you essentially have another 40 hours you're going to throw at this. So you're working 80 hours a week. Music is one job. The other thing pays the bills, just from a money standpoint, because nothing will kill your dream faster than not having the money to fund it.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like you may want to throw every minute that you have at it, but once you run out of money, that dream essentially dies. And you hear this a lot from musicians and artists that once the money dried up, they had to quit. They went back to work. So I would maybe delay quitting the 9 to 5 until you have enough reserves that you can go for years pursuing this dream. And if you haven't made it by then, maybe it's time to throw in the towel. But give yourself a real shot by making sure you have the money saved up or an income coming in because you're still working while doing the music.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I mean, the most important aspect of music, right, is try, right, your passion. It's the most important thing that both listeners, sound engineers, producers, even artists look forward to within your music is your passion, right? And when you go to work and you work a normal 9 to 5, right? It's boring. It's lame. We all get it. Nobody wants to work one. But when you get off and you can make this music and you're proud of yourself after the track releases, especially after work, like for instance, Spazin Records owner Shadow, the Pharroh, I actually happen to know him in person. That dude works like 60 hours a week. He still runs his record label and still makes music on top of that. It's difficult, yeah. It's frustrating and annoying, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth it, especially once your music starts getting views. It feels like everything that you did starts to pay off at that point.
Absolutely. But hey, man, I appreciate you bringing me in on this, and I'm looking forward to doing this more in the future. I hope these videos that you and I are making, one, helps the artist, but two, gets more eyes and ears on these artists, and we can help spread the word for them.
I agree. Any kind of support at all, even just listening to their music, is going to help these artists in the long run, especially when they do work and follow their passion. It's even more difficult to promote yourself because you don't necessarily have all that time. So yeah, I appreciate you coming out and listening to these tracks and giving your feedback most of all on these tracks. It's important for these artists as it's a learning space, right? It's a space for them to learn and grow as artists. That way they can grow their fan base more loyally and more strong. I suggest
Agreed.
everybody go out to the Free Advice Guy, both Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. Go check out his content. Thank him for coming by. We are definitely going to be doing more content with him in the future. And I know for sure that if you go into his live streams and you personally try and speak to him, he will speak back to you. And if you ask him financial questions, he's got your back. He's the man to go to. So definitely go check out Free Advice Guy's channel. Go ahead and go check out Fallen Underground Music Group's channel and Spazin Records channel as well. Without all of these guys, without all of these artists, none of this would be possible.
Appreciate you, brother. That was fun.
Yeah, so thank you everybody for coming out, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.